Take off your shoes, belt, and all your electronics. Form a straight line and go through the metal detector. To your surprise, none of it happens this time. No bins, no annoying instructions, and no hassle. Strange feeling, right? Well, not anymore. Turns out, TSA is quietly rewriting its rules. From advanced scanners to new navigation policies, these are 10 airport security upgrades that are changing the way you travel. This rule goes back to 2001 when the TSA found an unwanted item in a traveler's shoe. Nearly 2 decades went by, but the rule to take off your shoes remained persistent. One Reddit user puts it brilliantly by saying, "The cis bro asked me to remove my shoes and put it through the scanner. Is it for all shoes? Is it seriously a waste of time and unhygienic, as the guy behind me had opened his shoes and the stench of sock smell filled the airport, lol." Finally, someone said what we've all been thinking. But the good news is that as of July 8, 2025, this absurd ritual is finally coming to an end. Don't call it a policy shift. It's just that TSA's scanners finally got smart. They can now finally scan and generate detailed 3D images to detect unwanted items inside the shoe without removing them. This upgrade is more about data flow rather than comfort. The new scanners are calibrated to process threat profiles algorithmically, not visually. No more human guesswork, just fast, automated scans with zero drama. About time some of us don't need to worry about the first-hand embarrassment of wearing 2 different socks. Now that the shoes are literally off the table, the next sacred TSA rule under review is the one that's been drowning in travel-size shampoo and soap bottles for nearly 18 years. For almost 20 years, travelers threw their shampoos and deodorants as if they were ticking time bombs. But in 2025, something finally changed. Spoiler alert, it's not a change in policy. We've spent years tossing shampoo like it's contraband, all because of a 2006 transatlantic plot. The result? Years of confusion over what counts as liquid. Is a deodorant really necessary? Is hummus a liquid? Do I still take off my shoes at the security check? A Reddit user shares his devastating experience. So what happened next is that I put my container with liquid in the drawer, and it's a big container, but the liquid inside really is under 100 milliliters. So he goes, "That's too much liquid," but I try to explain comprehensively. It's actually under 100 milliliters. It's a story every traveler knows too well. However, in July 2025, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem hinted at a change to the liquid ban. All hail the new generation CT scanners. But there's a catch. Not all airports have access to these devices yet. So while they're slowly catching up, chances are that you'd still have to make peace with the ongoing dilemma, at least until further notice. This one's been stirring up conversations for quite a while. No passports, no boarding passes, no tickets. Just arrive at the airport, flash your face at a high-tech scanner, and you're good to go. It sounds convenient until you realize you're handing your face to a government database. Well, not for everyone. Travelers and even some U.S. lawmakers have raised concerns over the use of facial recognition at airport checkpoints. You can opt out, sure, but that's usually not a smooth sailing, or flying better said. One Reddit user mentioned, "I opted out and the agent gave me a hard time about it, asking my full address, date of birth, and scrutinizing me about having a mustache in my ID photo but not one currently." Let's face it, nobody wants to wait in a line when a face scan is the faster route. But this doesn't mean that we should pretend our data isn't at risk. Moral of the story? While the face scan line might still move faster, your privacy is at risk. Until data policies catch up, think twice before trading convenience for control. But just when you thought that face scans were the only ID upgrade you need to worry about, in comes the Real ID. You've probably seen the signs. Get your Real ID by May 7th, 2025 to be cleared for takeoff. Well, that date has passed and now you actually need a Real ID to board your next domestic flight. Why now? Because a standard driver's license won't cut it anymore. It sounds harmless, but for last-minute travelers, it has become a logistical nightmare. And if you've already made the switch, congrats, you're in the clear. However, for those who waited till the last minute, this has become a logistical nightmare. DMV appointments are now jam-packed in some states, and travelers aren't allowed to get past airport security with their standard driver's license. A Reddit user put it simply, I do want to say this is rolling out in phases, so please, anyone who is not Real ID compliant, continue with the process to get one. As time goes on, there will be a time you cannot fly, as well as other things. The Real ID Act is not just about travel, so keep that in mind. To be fair, this step isn't just about inconvenience. Standardized ID verification across the country has been in the pipeline for years. Still, the rollout was poorly communicated, especially for something this important. So before you head to the airport, check if you have a Real ID compliant license. Otherwise, that vacation might happen without you. While U.S. airports are busy doing their own thing across the Atlantic, the EU is quietly reshaping its entire airport security process. Imagine landing in the U.S. and skipping security altogether. Well, thanks to the new program called One-Stop Security, traveling between certain EU airports and the U.S. is now smoother than ever. One Reddit user, friend of Siegel, said, "This sounds amazing. We always have to connect when visiting family, and we have had some tight, missed connections, mainly due to waiting to go back through security after going through immigration, customs, and rechecking bags." Here's how it works. If your airport meets the U.S. standards, you skip secondary inspections when you land. This means that you're all set to exit as soon as you touch down. The catch? It only applies to selected routes and airports. Either way, it's a sigh of relief for frequent travelers, even if at selected airports. Europe is finally getting rid of air travel's most annoying rule, the infamous 100 milliliter limit. However, tossing out your Ziploc bags isn't the right step just yet. Many major airports in the EU have access to new CT scanners that allow you to carry up to 2 liters of liquid in your hand luggage. This means no travel-sized bottles, no plastic baggie, and no squeezing shampoo into contact lens cases. Reddit user Vignoniana puts it perfectly by saying, "It is not a carry-on bag if it's checked in before security check." Their terms are really confusing on that page. So no, the 100 milliliter limit doesn't apply to it. Also, it's not EU restriction, it's by airport. There are airports with 2-liter liquid allowances inside of the EU. This was made possible due to the new scanners equipped with advanced 3D imaging. These scanners use 3D imaging to scan dense bags and liquids with no volume limits needed. Major tourist destinations like Milan, Rome, Amsterdam, and Birmingham have eased on this rule as well. So the next time you fly from Rome to Amsterdam, carry that jar of hummus without any doubts. Just make sure you finish it before flying Amsterdam to Paris, or you'd have to throw it out at the security check. Europe's airport experience isn't always better than the US, especially when it comes to consistency. In fact, it can sometimes become a different pain altogether, mainly because you have to navigate around the guidelines at each airport. While some airports like Amsterdam or Rome allow you to breeze through airport security, other airports like Paris and Prague still follow outdated procedures. They still embrace the 100 milliliter rule and the "take off your shoes, you peasant" vibe. One Reddit user frustratingly said, "This is a security theater, and they invent more and more stupid checks to delay passengers around the world. When they stop someone really dangerous? Like, never." While his opinions are debatable, one thing is for sure. Even the frequent travelers are caught off guard by this varying difference. Although improvements are the pipeline, the system is still inconsistent. Until that happens, you might have to read the fine print before you pack for your next flight, or risk losing your hummus at the gate. Have you ever wondered if there is anything that brings the European Union on the same page, apart from declaring euro as their primary currency? Yeah, you're not alone. At least the carry-on size regulations would be the same everywhere, right? Well, nope. Sadly, that's not the case. With your case. No pun intended. Despite viral headlines, there's no continent-wide limit of 55 by 40 by 20 centimeters, or 10 kilograms. Each airline has its own policy. Lufthansa, EasyJet, and Ryanair have their own carry-on limitations. While the EU Commission has discussed standardization, nothing has been enforced yet. One Reddit user jotted down his frustration by saying, "One thing we've experienced while out there is that every time we check our checked baggage, the folks working the bag station say it's a full flight, or these bags don't follow EU carry-on standards." A proposal made waves online in mid-2025, claiming a universal rule would take effect in September. But the EU quickly clarified, it's not law. Airlines still get to set their own size rules. TSA already warned us against lithium batteries in checked luggage, but in mid-2025, they made the ban crystal clear. Why so serious? Because a single battery can blow up the entire plane. When exposed to high pressure or heat, lithium batteries can ignite. If this happens in the cabin, flight crews can contain it, whereas in the cargo hold, you're risking an in-flight fire. Here's the rule. Whether it's 20,000 or 5,000 mAh, your power bank stays with you in the cabin. One passenger had their power bank removed after check-in, to which a Reddit user replied, "Yes, they can remove undeclared dangerous goods from your baggage. Loose batteries, including power banks, are not allowed in checked baggage on passenger flights." Bottom line, never pack lithium batteries in checked luggage. Keep them in your carry-on, always. You know the drill. You reach security, unzip your carry-on, yank out your laptop, and hope it doesn't slip off the tray or get flagged. But in 2022, that laptop ritual is quietly disappearing at select airports, and nobody told you. The reason? New CT scanners, the same ones disrupting the liquid rule, are also making laptops in-bin checks obsolete. These scanners generate high-resolution 3D images that let TSA agents see inside your bag, layer by layer, without needing you to unpack a thing. The result? Faster lines, fewer delays, and no more juggling electronics in front of strangers. But there's a catch. Like most security upgrades in the US, it's a patchy rollout. Some airports adopted the tech, others are still living in 2009. So if you're flying through a major hub like Atlanta, Chicago, or LAX, you might be in luck. Otherwise, better keep that zipper handy. What looks like a messy patchwork of updates is really a global shift in how travel systems evolve. You might think airport rules come from sitting bureaucrats in high offices, but they're really shaped by tech, trust, and timing. The TSA is finally leaning towards standardization and compliance. Europe lets airports move at their own pace, which creates flexibility, but also chaos. Nonetheless, no one system is perfect, but they are both trying to make things easier, quicker, smoother, and safer for you and millions of travelers across the globe. What can you take from all this? Getting through today's airport requires more than a passport. It takes knowing how the system works. So before your next flight, take a minute to check the rules at both ends of your trip for a smoother travel experience. You just decoded it. This is Transit Code.